Hi darlings, it's Robin here. Thanks guys for joining me today on Oracle Rising, sending you peace and blessings. Much love, namaste. So let's talk about light working today. I think this could also encapsulate the starseed journey as well. There are things that we might expect when we realize, when we have your starseed awakening or you're cracked open as a light worker, that things will magically fall into place. So certain things do, but we still have to contend with the human condition, and not everything is gonna flip automatically just because you are on a light working journey or you're having a starseed awakening. Okay, so there's some like gritty truths and realities that still need to be dealt with as you move on your journey. Also, being a light worker does not guarantee that other people, this is things to look out for in yourself and other people. It doesn't necessitate the fact that somebody is going to be a good person or that they are going to launch their ascension path. People can do this work, I guess, on the 3D matrix grid. Not everybody is going to evolve and seek higher levels of spiritual wisdom and stuff like that. So this is also specifically related to those of you that could be joining certain groups. Okay, so you still have to be aware that people are going to be in the group scamming and posing as light workers and starseeds and members of the divinity community. So I have a basic rule of thumb when I'm dealing with people. Honestly, I like to give people about 3 to 6 months before I get anywhere close to fully trusting them, because you get to see the veneer thin on people and who they really are by giving them time. And people should absolutely have the same grace period when getting to know you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about, I've got a few points here for you. I've got 6 points. Okay, so undesirable circumstances are going to happen to light workers and starseeds and members of the spiritual and divinity community. So there is a sense that, you know, if you're a positive person, you're keeping your vibration high, you know, you attract what you feel and all of that stuff, you know, everything is going to be perfect. And that's not even close to the truth. Okay, we are still going to have circumstances that are undesirable happen to us. You know, people in our lives are going to pass away. You know, you could still sustain injuries. You could go down on your luck. You could, you know, lose your job. Like, bad things are still going to happen. Unfortunately, that's just sort of the nature of living here on Earth. And you got to think about the soul contract that you signed here as well, because there's such I wanted to say like a melange of experiences that are going to happen. There's, you know, your human body, there's your spiritual body, there's your intellect, there's your soul, there's your heart. You've got a lot of activity, you've got a lot of action going on in your life. And soul contracts play very heavily into the experiences that we're going to have for your soul growth, as opposed to what you might be doing here on your Lightworker mission or your starseed journey. Okay, so you want to look at things like this, things that you do for the collective, like if you're a tarot card reader, or, you know, you are a psychic medium, or you're just here as a light worker. And I'm not saying just as in being a very light way of saying it. Being a light worker is a mission, okay? Being a starseed is an origin. And these things are exclusive from what is happening with your soul contract. So you could be doing all the right things. You could be helping your community. You could be like donating your time and your services and just getting out there and being as positive a person as possible. It is not going to guarantee talk much. Anyway, it's not a guarantee that negative things won't happen to you, that you won't meet like creepy people or have bad experiences or just generally life happening to you. So if you think that by evolving into one of these things in the member of the divinity community, that all negative experiences are going to fall off, I just want to give you a hard no on that, because you're still here to live your life and your soul contract. Phew, that was a lot. Anyway, this can be very, very tricky for a lot of people, okay? There are such things as healing that you can do that does not involve Western medicine, okay? But having the opinion that Western medicine is of no use as a member of the divinity community, I think we can do a lot to heal ourselves. And I'm one of the first people to always look for a natural remedy to anything that is going on with my body. If I know that somebody that is really important to me, or anybody really, is suffering in any way from an ailment, I'm always going to recommend, you could do like a qigong routine for something that is going on in your body, or yoga, or you can use herbs. You can really, you can meditate on things. There is such thing as universal healing, okay? But I would never ever discount the fact that sometimes Western medicine is going to play a part in your life, okay? So I have Hashimoto thyroiditis, and I have to take something, it's called levothyroxine or something with 1,000,000 syllables, like it's from the Jurassic age. And if I don't take it, I turn into a shadow of myself. So as much as I do not like going to see Western doctors, they do play a part in my wellness routine. So try not to ever think that you will never ever need Western medicine, because sometimes you will. And I think it could be a huge detriment to the divinity community to just sort of divest yourself back from that. So just be very careful. And of course, some doctors, just like some people, are better than others, and some try to sell you things that are not good for you. Like I have this one particular doctor, he's always trying to put me on cholesterol meds, and I'm like, no. I don't have high cholesterol, so it can be a bit of a racket too. So anyway, just again, be careful with that, and don't separate yourself entirely. You never know when you might need a surgery for something, you know what I mean? So this third one is really important. I was saying before, people that are light workers and starseeds and people with divine gifts, not everybody is a nice person. Not everybody is empathetic. We still are human, and we still have our human vices, and we have a lot of things to unlearn once we have our awakening, or our breakthrough, or whatever. Okay. So, you could go into a lightworking or starseed community or whatever community and think that everybody is going to be a really swell person in the community. But sometimes you can just see people they're just people, okay? So really keep your eyes open when you're joining these social groups. Like I've had my own encounters on a couple of pages that I belong to. Like there's a couple of really, really important guides to me in these communities. But, some people have a really, really dark side, and there's a bunch of trolls in these groups as well. And something that really shook me recently is one of the first people that I followed on my journey was Paramahansa Nityananda. And, he was quite impressive to me as a guide. And then there was just this huge scandal about him. And I was reading about it just a few weeks ago, and I was really kind of, shattered to a certain extent that he had that really dark side that was going on. You could look it up on your own time. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but it just really reaffirmed to me that people can have their light and dark sides, and separating them can be very, very tricky. And for some people, it's never going to happen at all. Okay. So that really freaked me out when I saw that. So keep your expectations moderate until you get to really know somebody. So this one is really difficult for some people too. Okay. This is about your own expectations of your behavior. That you're always going to be positive, that you're always going to be love and light, you're always going to be a ray of sunshine. And your mood is always going to be high. Your vibration is always going to be high. And imagine the amount of pressure that you're putting on yourself to have that expectation. So you could be having a bad day. You could wake up in a bad mood. Something really crappy could happen to you. And so what if you have a reaction that is probably something that you're trying to work out of your life? You know, you might snap at somebody, or, you know, you might swear or have like a little tantrum or something like that. I mean, you got to give yourself grace when that happens. Like, my thing is that you can learn from that every single time. And if you're being triggered by other people, that's a learning opportunity for you. Like, if you're exploding at somebody else's comment or behavior, or you're getting your feelings hurt or whatever, that's an opportunity for you to look within and say, okay, what part of me needs healing? Honestly, I don't know anybody that is legit 100% love and light all the time, except for my dog Lacey, okay? But I mean, she's got a pretty good life. She doesn't really have to worry about anything, okay? But as long as we're here dealing with humans, your mood is going to shift, and you're going to have to allow yourself the opportunity to do that. As members of the divinity community, we're still here to experience the full spectrum of emotion. I just think it's really important to like self-correct rather than, you know, give yourself a lecture or tell yourself that you're disappointed or like, why did I do that? It's like, okay, yeah, I really didn't feel comfortable about that, and I'm going to maybe work a little bit harder, work on my patience, maybe resolve some sort of issue that is obviously still a thorn in my side. So don't expect yourself to be Mary friggin' Poppins just because you had some sort of an awakening or you're on your journey. You're still you know, and you're still gonna have moods. You're still gonna snap. You're still gonna cuss people out, and you know, you're still just gonna be human, okay? This one bothers me so much. I'm gonna talk about experiencing spiritual snobbery and looking down on others. Like, this bugs me so much. You know, people get so full of themselves and they get so lofty. And if this is happening to you, I think it's time for you to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know, we're here to help other people, not be above other people. You know, you can be on different levels of karma, certainly. You know, other people could be living really horrible existences and being homeless and, you know, just having really difficult, strong soul contract drudgery. But as somebody that is a light worker or a starseed, if I see somebody looking down on somebody else for their human experience, man, I'm a protector like that. I'm just like, who do you think you are? You know, that could easily be you. Your circumstances could change so swiftly. And I see this happening more in certain organizations than others. But if I am in contact with somebody that thinks they're like holier than thou, or, you know, they're better than everybody else because they do some sort of practice that is involved with communicating with the spirits or whatever they got going on, I will distance myself from that person, because I don't have any room to deal with somebody that is arrogant or thinks that they're better than somebody else just because their path is a little bit higher when it comes to 11 light scale. Okay, so that just really is such a huge turnoff for me in anybody, not just light workers and starseeds and the divinity community, anybody that is going to take a poke at somebody that is not having the greatest experience. Like, I'll defend the person that is having the worst experience rather than somebody that is love and light. And to me, snobbery is not love and light. It is not peace and blessings. It is not divine. It is not spiritual. That is a really low level of human energy, and that's something I don't tolerate. I'll cut the cord right away, or like give them a piece of my mind, because, you know, why not? So all right, this is really intense. This is for you, those of you that have a practice that involves a spiritual gift. Again, that could be tarot card reading. It could be, reading with a pendant. It could be connecting with people beyond the veil. There's so many things that people do. Hold on, I need a sip of water. Anyway, what was I saying? Like, some people think that you should be giving away your spiritual gifts for free. Okay, but who's paying your bills? You know what I mean? I think if you've got tons of money and you want to earn money with your spiritual gift, whatever that might be, you have your spiritual shop, you're a tarot card reader, you sell readings, whatever. That's totally up to the individual, especially if that's how they are like providing income for their family. I would never ever suggest that somebody take that away. I think a combination of giving things away for free and then charging is really nice. I mean, I do all my readings on YouTube for free, right? But you might have to suffer through a couple of ads or whatever, but I make revenue from that. So, I mean, I have bills to pay. I got a dog to feed, and I charge for private readings, and people ask me for free readings all the time as if I'm just kind of sitting here doing nothing with my time. And I also work a job to support myself. So when people are harassed for not giving away their spiritual gift for free, that really bothers me. And that could be happening to you guys as you sort of move into, being stronger with your abilities. Don't let anybody ever tell you that it's not fair for you to charge for a gift that was given to you by the divine, because if you look at people that are in the entertainment business, like, where do you think they got their voice from? For singers, that is a gift. Actors, like, people have their gifts, and we trade currency in exchange for that gift in order to support ourselves. So that one really bugs me, because I do get quite a few messages, especially on Twitter, from people that are like, hey, people keep asking me, or like, I don't know how to charge or whatever. People always want free readings. I'm like, if you've got the time and you can afford it, not everybody is sitting back on a boatload of money, and sometimes we need to support ourselves that way. So don't ever let anybody say that it's not fair for you to charge for your spiritual gift, whatever it is. And you might want to think twice about asking somebody for like free stuff just because they have a divine gift and they use it, because it's also like very exhausting to do things like this. You want to think about people that are doing like, especially psychic mediums. It's very, very challenging, and it can be very emotionally draining to contact somebody on the other side of the veil. It's a lot of pressure. And I find that tarot card readings can be very exhausting too, because I'm tapping into my guides, and it's this whole different level of energy. So, if you're thinking like, why doesn't this person give me something for free? I mean, you got to think about the person's energy and time that they're putting into it. And sometimes people will do like a draw for a free reading, or they'll do free card pulls, or whatever. They'll go live and do free readings and stuff like that, and I think that's really cool. But it's got to be up to the individual that is offering these services on what they want to do. So anyway, guys, I hope this was helpful. Let me know down below in the comments if I missed anything, if something particularly resonated for you, and I'm gonna blast off for the day. So take care of yourselves. Bye, guys.